Ladies and gentlemen, this is a collection of all the core Yuya Sakaki skills I've read so far. Please enjoy. Turning up the heat. At the beginning of the duel, add one Stargazer Magician and one Time Gazer Magician to your deck. Then if you have two or less Eyes Pendulum Dragon in your deck, add one Eyes Pendulum Dragon to your deck. In addition, if you begin the duel with a deck excluding extra deck that contains some monsters other than Performable monsters, Magician Pendulum monsters, or Eyes monsters, add Pendulum Zones to your field at the beginning of the duel. Mention cards: Stargazer Magician, Time Gazer Magician, and Eyes Pendulum Dragon. Characters with this skill: Yuya Sakaki. Odd Eyes Evolution can be used once per turn by revealing one pendulum monster in your hand while you have no cards in your pendulum zones. Change one monster whose original name is Odd Eyes Dragon to Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon. In addition, add a pendulum zone to your field. Mention cards: Odd Eyes Dragon and Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon. Characters with this skill: Yuya Sakaki. Pendulum Gazers. At the beginning of the duel, add pendulum zones to your field. In addition, the following effect can be used on turn 3 and onward if you have Stargazer Magician or Time Gazer Magician in your pendulum zone. Add one face-up pendulum monster from your extra deck to your hand. Until the end of next turn, you cannot summon the card added to your hand by this skill or a card with the same name except for pendulum summoning, and you cannot activate their effects. This skill will only activate if you begin the duel with a deck excluding extra deck that contains 9 Performable monsters, Magician Pendulum monsters, or Oz monsters. This skill can only be used once per duel. Mention cards: Stargazer Magician and Time Gazer Magician. Characters with this skill: Yuya Sakaki. Performapal Carnival. The attack points of all Performapal monsters on your field increase by 100 for each Performapal monster on the field. Characters with this skill: Yuya Sakaki. Smile World. Add one Smile World to your hand from outside of your deck. If you activate this skill, you can only activate or use the effect of Smile, Spell, or Trap cards until the end of your opponent's next turn. This skill can only be used once per duel. Mention cards: Smile World. Characters with this skill: Yuya Sakaki. Dual-Taining Recast can be used if you control 3 pendulum monsters with different levels. Add all monsters in your pendulum zone to your extra deck. Then play Performable pendulum monsters, Magician pendulum monsters, or Odd Eyes pendulum monsters that could be normal summoned from your hand with a combined level equal to the sum of the original levels of monsters you added to your extra deck. This skill can only be used once per duel. Characters with this skill: Yuya Sakaki. Dual-Taining Stage Change can be used if you have 2,000 or less life points, and if you have 2 cards in your pendulum zone that are either Performable pendulum monsters, Magician pendulum monsters, or Odd Eyes pendulum monsters. Select one card in your pendulum zone and place it face up on your extra deck. Then you can place one pendulum monster in your monster zone whose original name is Performable, Magician, or Odd Eyes to your pendulum zone. This skill can only be used once per duel. Characters with this skill: Yuya Sakaki. Pendulum Shuffle can be used if you have 2 cards in your pendulum zones and 2 or more face-up pendulum monsters in your extra deck. Place all cards in your pendulum zones face up on your extra deck, then place in your pendulum zones 2 random face-up pendulum monsters from your extra deck. This skill can only be used once per duel. Characters with this skill: Yuya Sakaki. Extra balloons. Can be used once per turn. Select one wonder balloons without balloon counters and place one balloon counter on it. If you begin the duel with a deck that contains no monsters other than Perform File monsters, Magician Pinland monsters, or Odd Eyes monsters, place one face-up wonder balloons to your spell or trap zone at the beginning of the duel from outside of your deck. Mission cards, wonder balloons. Characters with this skill, Yuya Sakaki. Fusion or Advent. Can be used by returning one Odd Eyes Pinland drug in your Pinland zone and one Polymerization or a ritual spell card in your hand to your deck. Depending on the card you have returned, you can add one of the following cards from outside of your deck to your hand. Polymerization, Odd Eyes Fusion. Ritual spell card, Odd Eyes Advent. This skill can only be used if you begin the duel with a deck excluding extra deck that contains at least 9 Performer File monsters, Magician Pinland monsters, or Odd Eyes monsters. This skill can only be used once per duel. Mention cards, Odd Eyes Pinland Dragon, Polymerization, Odd Eyes Fusion, and Odd Eyes Advent. Characters with this skill, Yuya Sakaki. Imperial Wrath Awakening. At the beginning of the duel, add Pinland zones to your field and add one Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon to your extra deck. Also, you can use each of the following effects once in a duel if you have 2 cards in your Pinland zone. Return all cards on your field to your deck and place Performer File Turn Toad and Performer File Cheer Mode from outside of your deck in your Pinland zone. You can only special summon a level or rank 4 Dragon type or Beast type monster if you use this skill in a duel. You can use this effect if there is a fusion monster on your opponent's field. Select one Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon from your field and use cards from your Pinland zone as Xyz material for that monster. Mention cards, Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon, Perform File Turn Toad, and Perform File Chair Mole. Characters with this skill, Yuya Sakaki. Zhang Qi and Zhang Xing. At the beginning of the duel, add Pinland zones to your field. The following effect can be used once per duel. Add one Odd Eyes Pinland monster with 2,500 attack points or lower from your hand to your extra deck face up, and place one Zhang Qi Magician and one Zhang Xing Magician to your Pinland zones from your hand/deck. Then change the Pinland skill of Zhang Xing Magician in your Pinland zone to 8. This skill can only be used/applied if you begin the duel with a deck excluding extra deck that contains at least 5 level 4 and 5 level 7 monsters, and contains level monsters other than Performer File or Odd Eyes monsters or Magician Pinland monsters. Mission cards, Zhang Qi Magician and Zhang Xing Magician. Characters with this skill, Yuya Sakaki and Yuta. Hero shall cast its light. At the beginning of the duel, add Pinland zones to your field. If you control a Timebreaker Magician, the following effects can be used once per duel. Add one Tuner Magician from your deck to your hand. Change the level of one level 3 or lower Spellcaster type monster you control to 4. During the turn you use this effect, you cannot use that monster as material for Xyz summoning a monster. And Spellcaster type Secret monsters you control gain 500 attack points. This skill can only be used as applied if you begin the duel with an extra deck that contains at least 3 Synchro monsters including Alignment Paladin. Mission cards, Timebreaker Magician, Tuning Magician, and Enlightenment Paladin. Characters with the skill, Yuya Sakaki. Treason Phantom. The following effects can be used once per duel. Reveal a total of 2 of the Phantom Knight's monster and/or Phantom Knight spell trap card from your hand. Return one of them to your deck, and send one the Phantom Knight's monster from your deck to your graveyard. During this turn, you can treat the Phantom Knight's monsters as level 4 monsters when you Exceed summon Dark Rebellion Exceed Dragon. Remove 2 Exceed material from Dark Rebellion Exceed Dragon you control, and increase its attack points by 500 until the end of the turn. During your opponent's next turn, after you activate this effect, you can activate your Exceed monster's effect only one time. Mention cards: Dark Rebellion Exceed Dragon. Characters with this skill: Yuya Sakaki and Yuta. Raging Pendulum. At the beginning of the duel, add pendulum zones to your field. This skill can only be used once per duel by revealing one Odd-Eyes Raging Dragon and Dark Rebellion Exceed Dragon from your extra deck if you have 2 Performapal, Magician, or Odd-Eyes cards in your pendulum zones. Add one Odd-Eyes Pendulum Dragon and one Magician Pendulum monster from your hand or deck to your extra deck. During this duel, you can treat Exceed monsters you control as level 7 monsters when Exceed summoning Odd-Eyes Raging Dragon. Mention cards: Odd-Eyes Raging Dragon, Dark Rebellion Exceed Dragon, and Odd-Eyes Pendulum Dragon. Characters with this skill: Yuya Sakaki and Yuta. Pendulum Rebellion. You can use this skill's second effect once per turn and twice per duel. During the duel you activate the second effect, you cannot normal or special summon monsters except for Performapal, Odd-Eyes, and the Phantom Knight monsters, and Magician Pendulum monsters, excluding special summons from the extra deck. Effect 1. At the beginning of the duel, add pendulum zones to your field, and add 2 Odd-Eyes Pendulum monsters with different names from outside of your deck to your extra deck face up. These cards can be special summoned. Effect 2. Shuffle one card from your hand or field into the deck, then place 2 out of 4 Magician Pendulum monsters with different names from outside of your deck in your pendulum zones. Mention cards: Odd-Eyes Pendulum Dragon, Odd-Eyes Rebellion Dragon, Stargaze Magician, Timegaze Magician, Senki Magician, and Zangxing Magician. Characters with this skill: Yuya Sakaki and Yuta. Odd-Eyes Wing Acceleration. You can only use this skill's second and third effects once per turn. Effect 1. At the beginning of the duel, add pendulum zones to your field. During this duel, you cannot normal or special summon monsters except for Performapal, Odd-Eyes monsters, and Magician Pendulum monsters, excluding special summons from the extra deck. Odd-Eyes Wing Dragon you control can attack twice in each battle phase. Effect 2. If you control Performapal, Odd-Eyes Synchron, or Harmonizing Magician, add one Stargazer Magician from outside of your deck to your hand, and add one Performapal Odd-Eyes Synchron, or level 3 or lower Magician Pendulum monster from your deck to your hand, or your face-up extra deck. Effect 3. If you control a Synchro Dragon monster, Play one Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon from outside of your deck in face down position. Its battle position can't be changed. Mention cards: Odd Eyes Winged Dragon, Perform for Odd Eyes Synchron, Harmonizing Magician, Stargazer Magician, and Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon. Characters with this skill: Yuya Sakaki and Yugo. Odd Eyes Venomous Affection. You can only use this skill's second effect once per duel. Effect 1. At the beginning of the duel, add pendulum zones to your field. During this duel, you can add no more special summon, excluding special summons from the extra deck, any monsters except for Magician / Performer File Pendulum monsters, and Performer File Odd Eyes and Predapet monsters. Monsters you control whose original name is Odd Eyes Venom Dragon can attack directly. Effect 2. Reveal one Odd Eyes monster in your hand, then play one Performer File Odd Eyes Dissolver from your hand or deck and face down defense position. Its battle position can be changed. And place one Time Garrison Magician from outside of your deck in your Pendulum zone. Then you can add one Pendulum monster from your deck to your hand. Mention cards: Odd Eyes Venom Dragon, Performer File Odd Eyes Dissolver, and Time Garrison Magician. Characters with this skill: Yuya Sakaki and Yuri.